Okay, so the ingredients that we will require to make donuts is refined wheat flour or maida. You can use any brand maida that is available. We will require some powdered sugar. This is powdered sugar, this is not icing sugar. We will require some milk. Milk should be lukewarm, it should not be cold or it should not be very hot. We will require some butter. This is soft unsalted butter. We will require some vanilla powder. You can also use vanilla essence. The most important ingredient, yeast. This is instant dry yeast. There are other forms like fresh yeast and active dry yeast, but instant dry yeast is the best. We will also use some orange zest for flavoring. This is optional, but it really gives a good taste to the donuts. So we will grate the orange zest. I'm using some bread improver. This is optional, but again it gives a very nice texture to the donuts or to the breads that you bake. So we will use some bread improver also in this recipe. So here are the ingredients. Now we will see the process. I'm following one bowl method wherein I'm going to mix all the ingredients in one bowl and start kneading the dough. Make sure that the yeast you are using is very fresh, and the cup size that I'm using is a 200 ml for measurement purpose. I'm using 3 cup all purpose flour, that is maida, and this will give me around 12 to 15 donuts. So now I will add all the ingredients in this bowl. I have added maida. Now I am putting in instant dry yeast. I am adding in 2 teaspoons of instant yeast because the weather is very hot. I am adding in half a teaspoon of bread improver, 3 teaspoons of vanilla powder, 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, 1 cup of milk, and half that we will require later, and butter also we will add at a later stage. I am also adding in the orange zest, and now I will start mixing the dough. I'm just mixing it right now. I'm not starting to knead it, and I will adjust the milk as I require. The dough should be very sticky. It should not be a very hard dough. So once I've added in the milk, I've added in the butter, and now I will lightly dust the work surface and I will knead the dough for at least 10 to 12 minutes. Initially it will be very sticky, but make sure you do not add any more flour or any other dry ingredient, otherwise the dough will become hard and the donuts will not be very soft when they are fried. So keep on kneading till the dough becomes smooth by itself. Do not use your fingers much, use the palm, that will give the best results. So after kneading it for around 8 to 10 minutes, the dough will be smooth and silky. Just tuck in the way I've shown here, and we will grease the bowl with some oil or butter, and we will keep the dough for resting or for proofing for at least half an hour. We will cover it with a cling wrap or with any napkin, or even you can cover it with a plate. After half an hour the dough would have been double in the size. We will add in some flour and knead back the dough. We will again knead for a minute or so. Do not add too much of flour. And now we will roll the dough. It should be thick. Do not roll it very thin. I am using a simple cookie cutter to make the donuts, and for the center hole I am going to use a nozzle, the back side of a nozzle. So I will make other donuts also, and we will place it on a butter paper or a parchment paper, and we will again rest it for half an hour. Meanwhile we will prepare the jam filling. I am using a mixed fruit jam here. We will add it to a mixer grinder, and I will just add a little bit of water so that the consistency is not too thick. We have to pipe it in. So here I have grinded the jam in a mixer grinder, and here is the paste. Here is the jam paste. We will use it as a filling for the jam donuts. Now we will put this in a piping bag. We don't require any fancy tool to pipe in the donuts. I'm just using a simple piping bag here. I have not also put any nozzle in it. It's just a simple piping bag. and we will fill the piping bag with the jam and we will keep it aside for later use. Okay, so after half an hour the donuts would have become double in size. Here they are. Do not overproof the donuts, otherwise they will collapse and they will not give you a proper texture. So maximum half an hour to 45 minutes is the best time. We will deep fry the donuts in hot oil. The oil should not be very hot. It should take around 1 minute each side to fry. Fry it till golden brown and remove in a wire rack or in a plate and cool it down. Now the interesting part, filling. I'm just taking a knife and I will make a hole in the center of a donut. Again, we don't require any fancy tool for this. Just a hole with a knife would do. So I'm taking 2 donuts here and I'm making a hole in the center. Now we will take a piping bag, we will just cut it and we will pipe in the jam. I will just grease this donuts with some jam again, just to coat it with some castor sugar. Here I am using some castor sugar to coat the donuts. And now here is the final result. Look at this yummy, delicious, soft, juicy and center filled jam donuts.